By 2028, India will have spent over $2 trillion on infrastructure, more than the entire GDP of Italy. But 3 of these projects could fail spectacularly, costing taxpayers billions. One of them is already 4 years behind schedule, and nobody's talking about it. If you've ever wondered whether India can actually become a superpower, or if it's all just political hype, this video will show you the truth. The good, the ugly, and the projects that could change your life, or waste your money. But before we dive in, if you're new here, hit the subscribe button and leave a comment. I subscribe. And I'll personally welcome you into the family. With that said, let's get started. Number 15, Mumbai Coastal Road. Imagine Mumbai's traffic getting 40% worse by 2030. That's the reality without this $2.3 billion gamble. Meet Priya Sharma. She's 34, works in HR, and for 6 years, she spent 4.5 hours every single day commuting from Kandivali to Nariman Point. She left home before her daughter woke up. She returned after she'd fallen asleep. She missed birthdays, school plays, first words. The Mumbai Coastal Road promises to cut Priya's commute to 90 minutes. This 29-kilometer elevated highway along the Arabian Sea is being called a game changer. An IIT Bombay study from 2023 shows Mumbai loses $8.7 billion annually to traffic congestion, more than the entire budget of several Indian states. But here's the problem no one's addressing. Rising sea levels could flood 30% of this road by 2050. Climate scientists warn that extreme weather events, like the 2023 monsoon flooding that submerged parts of Marine Drive, will only get worse. So we're spending 12,000 Indian rupees crore on a road that might be underwater in 25 years. And that's not even the most controversial project on this list. Number 14, Jewar International Airport. This airport will be bigger than Dubai International. But here's what's terrifying. Designed for 70 million passengers annually, that's the entire population of the United Kingdom passing through one airport every single year. Noida International Airport, also called Jewar Airport, will span 5,000 acres with 6 runways. It's positioned to become one of Asia's largest aviation hubs. But Ramesh Yadav isn't celebrating. He's 48, a third-generation farmer who sold his 12-acre ancestral land for 4.2 Indian rupees crore. Sounds like a fortune, right? Ramesh thought so too. Until he realized that compensation has to last his entire lifetime, support his parents, educate his children, and replace the income his land generated for decades. A World Bank report from 2024 reveals a disturbing pattern. 67% of farmers displaced by megaprojects fall into poverty within 10 years. Most blow through their compensation on liabilities or bad investments, never learning how to manage sudden wealth. But here's where it gets interesting. If Jewar opens on time in late 2024 or early 2025, it could create 250,000 jobs. That's 250,000 families lifted up, versus a few thousand displaced. The math seems to work. If it opens on time. Speaking of timing, the next project is already 6 years delayed. Number 13, Ken-Betwa River Linking. This $9 billion project will drown 9,000 hectares of forest, including a tiger reserve. Environmentalists are calling it ecological suicide. The Ken-Betwa River Linking Project aims to transfer water from the Ken River in Madhya Pradesh to the Betwa River in Uttar Pradesh. The government claims it'll provide water to 13 million people in drought-prone Bundelkhand, a region that's seen farmer suicides skyrocket due to consecutive crop failures. Meet Lakshmi Devi. She's 52, a widow from Panna district who walks 3 kilometers every single day to fetch water. Her daughter Priya dropped out of school at age 12, not because of fees, but because she was needed to help carry water. 4 hours daily, just for water. For Lakshmi, this project is life or death. For the National Green Tribunal, it's a disaster. Their 2023 data shows 4,842 trees have already been felled, and 68 endangered species are at risk, including the Bengal tiger. Imagine having to choose between saving tigers or saving your children from thirst. That's not a hypothetical, that's the choice India is making right now. But wait, there's a project that makes this look tiny. Number 12. Eastern Dedicated Freight Corridor. 1,856 kilometers of railway track designed to run 100 kilometers per hour trains carrying 15,000 tons. That's like moving the Eiffel Tower 50 times a day. The Eastern Dedicated Freight Corridor runs from Ludhiana in Punjab to Dankuni in West Bengal. It's designed exclusively for freight, no passenger trains, no delays, no interruptions. This could reduce logistics costs by 30%, saving Indian businesses 40,000 Indian rupees crore annually. Arjun Mehta is 29, a small textile exporter from Ludhiana. In 2022, he lost 3 major international contracts because his shipments took 18 days instead of the promised 10. His European clients switched to Bangladesh suppliers. He nearly shut down his business. The Asian Development Bank's 2024 report is damning. India loses $45 billion every year to logistics inefficiency. We're ranked 38th globally in logistics performance, behind Vietnam, Thailand, and even Rwanda. This freight corridor could change that. But here's the risk nobody's talking about. 22% of the route passes through seismic zones. One major earthquake in Bihar or Uttar Pradesh, and we're looking at catastrophic derailments and supply chain collapse. And if you think that's risky, wait till you hear about number 11. Number 11, Mumbai-Ahmedabad Bullet Train. 1.1 Indian rupees lakh crore, that's $15 billion, for a train most Indians can't afford to ride. The estimated ticket price? 3,000 Indian rupees one way. That's a month's salary for 40% of Indians. This is India's first high-speed rail project, capable of running at 320 kilometers per hour, cutting the journey from 7 hours to just 2. Japan loaned India 88,000 Indian rupees crore at 0.1% interest, incredibly generous terms. But here's what they don't tell you. The repayment period is 50 years. Your grandchildren will still be paying for this train. Vikram Patel is 45, a land acquisition officer for this project. He's received death threats. Over 600 farmers have refused to give up their land, and he's the government face they see. He's been chased by mobs, his car has been vandalized, his children bullied at school. A 2023 geological survey revealed the route crosses 4 seismic zones, areas prone to earthquakes. Japanese engineers had to redesign 40 kilometers of the corridor, adding 8,000 Indian rupees crore in safety costs. Critics say this money could build 45,000 kilometers of rural roads instead, connecting thousands of villages, saving countless lives. The government says this is about ambition, about showing the world India has arrived. But here's something even more expensive that nobody expected. Number 10. Sagarmala Port Modernization. India handles 95% of its trade by volume through ports. But we're ranked 22nd globally in port efficiency, behind Vietnam, Morocco, and Sri Lanka. Sagarmala is 189 port projects worth 6 Indian rupees lakh crore across 14 coastal states. The goal? Transform India's coastline into a logistics powerhouse. Captain Suresh Nair is 51. He's been a shipping pilot for 27 years, guiding container vessels into Mumbai's Jawaharlal Nehru port. He's seen ships wait 7 days just to unload, costing shipping companies $50,000 per day in demurrage fees. That cost gets passed to you as higher prices on literally everything you buy. The World Economic Forum's 2024 analysis shows that every one-day reduction in port turnaround time adds 0.5% to GDP growth. For India, that's 10,000 Indian rupees crore annually. The new Vadhavan port in Maharashtra will be India's first deepwater port, capable of handling 400-meter vessels, the megaships that currently bypass India for Singapore and Colombo. But China already has 7 of the world's 10 busiest ports. They've spent 30 years building this infrastructure. Can India catch up in just 4 years? That's the 6 Indian rupees lakh crore question. And catching up is exactly what the next project is about. Number 9. India's Semiconductor Mission. Your smartphone has 15 billion transistors. India manufactures exactly 0 of them. We import 100% of our chips, worth $24 billion annually. This isn't just about phones. It's about cars, defense systems, medical equipment, and AI. Every modern device needs semiconductors, and right now, India is completely dependent on other countries. Dr. Ananya Krishnan is 37, one of India's top chip designers. In 2019, she moved from Bangalore to Taiwan because India had no semiconductor fabrication plants, no place to actually apply her skills. She's not alone. Thousands of Indian engineers work in Taiwan, South Korea, and the US because India has no chip industry. The India Semiconductor Mission has allocated 76,000 Indian rupees crore to build 3 chip fabrication plants. The Foxconn Vedanta deal collapsed in 2023 after Foxconn pulled out, but Micron and Tata have committed to building plants in Gujarat and Assam. A McKinsey report from 2024 estimates that the semiconductor industry could add $55 billion to the Indian economy by 2030. But here's the challenge: building a chip fab takes 4 to 6 years. We've already lost 2 years to policy delays and deal failures. The US-China chip war means India has a golden opportunity to become the third semiconductor superpower. But the window is closing fast. Still, this isn't the most technologically ambitious project. Number 8. National Hydrogen Mission. By 2030, India aims to produce 5 million tons of green hydrogen annually. That's enough to power 15 million homes. Green hydrogen is produced by splitting water using renewable energy, zero carbon emissions. It can replace diesel in trucks, power ships, and fuel airplanes. It's being called the fuel of the future. This could reduce India's carbon emissions by 50 million tons, equivalent to planting 2.5 billion trees or taking 10 million cars off the road permanently. Ravi Desai is 43, a coal miner from Jharia, Jharkhand, one of India's largest coal belts. His father was a miner. His grandfather was a miner. But Ravi is being retrained as a hydrogen plant technician because his coal mine is shutting down. He's hopeful but scared. Will there actually be jobs in this new green economy? Or will he be discarded at 43, too old to start over? The International Energy Agency's 2024 report says green hydrogen could create 1 million jobs globally, but it requires $100 billion in investment. India has committed 19,744 Indian rupees crore so far. A good start, but nowhere near enough. And here's the problem nobody's solving. India's renewable energy capacity needs to triple to produce this hydrogen. We'd need to build solar and wind farms at a pace never seen before in Indian history. And speaking of energy, the next project is absolutely massive. Number 7. Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana Phase 4. In 2024, 178,000 Indian villages still have no paved roads. When Meera Singh, 25, went into labor at 2 a.m., there was no road to her village in rural Madhya Pradesh. No ambulance could reach her. Her husband and brother carried her on a stretcher for 8 kilometers through fields. It took 3 hours. When they finally reached the hospital, her baby had no heartbeat. The expanded Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana aims to build 435,000 kilometers of rural roads worth 3.5 Indian rupees lakh crore. That's like circling the earth 11 times with paved roads. A World Bank study found that every 1 Indian rupee spent on rural roads generates 3 Indian rupees in economic activity. Farmers get better prices, kids attend school regularly, medical emergencies actually get treated. A 2023 Niti Aayog report shows villages with all-weather roads see 39% higher school attendance and 52% better healthcare outcomes. Roads literally save lives. Meera's village got a road in 2023. Ambulances now reach in 20 minutes instead of never. She's pregnant again, and this time, she's not scared. But here's the problem. 23% of roads built under this scheme deteriorate within 3 years due to poor construction quality and corruption. Beautiful ribbon-cutting ceremonies, but potholes 6 months later. Quality control is also a major concern in our next project. Number 6. Bharatmala Pariyojana. India has the second largest road network in the world, 6.3 million kilometers. But only 3% are highways. This project changes everything. Bharatmala Pariyojana is a 10.63 Indian rupees lakh crore plan to build 65,000 kilometers of highways, connecting every corner of India with high-speed expressways. Sanjay Kumar is 39, a truck driver who hauls electronics from Delhi to Chennai, a 2,200-kilometer journey. It takes him 96 hours. 4 full days and nights. He sleeps in his truck, eats roadside meals, and sees his wife and 2 kids maybe once a month. The new expressways under Baratmala will cut that journey to 24 hours. Sanjay could be home every 3 days instead of once a month. The Ministry of Road Transport's 2024 data shows highway projects contributed 2.1% to India's GDP growth in 2023. That's 5 Indian rupees lakh crore in economic activity from better roads alone. But environmental activists have raised serious concerns. They claim 1.2 lakh trees have been cut for these projects, and 12 wildlife corridors have been disrupted, increasing human-animal conflict and vehicle-elephant collisions. The environmental impact gets even more serious in the next project. Number 5. Varanasi-Rishikesh High-Speed Rail Corridor. 72 million pilgrims visit Varanasi and Rishikesh every year. This 40,000 Indian rupees crore high-speed rail project will connect them in 2 hours instead of 18. The corridor will run semi-high-speed trains at 180 kilometers per hour through Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand, linking some of Hinduism's holiest sites. It's projected to add 15,000 Indian rupees crore annually to Uttarakhand's tourism economy. Pandit Ganesh Tiwari is 67, a temple priest in Varanasi. He's performed morning prayers at the Ghats for 45 years. In that time, he's watched the Ganga's water level drop 40% due to climate change, overuse, and pollution. He supports the project. Better connectivity means more pilgrims, more donations, better livelihoods for priests and vendors. But he's terrified the construction will harm the river further. An IIT Roorkee hydrology study from 2023 warns that construction activity could increase siltation by 28%, further choking the already struggling Ganga. But the project includes 2,000 Indian rupees crore specifically for river rejuvenation and wastewater treatment plants. The question is whether that's enough, or just window dressing. Locals fear the project will turn sacred pilgrimage sites into commercialized tourist traps. Temples surrounded by McDonald's and Starbucks, spirituality replaced with selfie spots. But commercialization is the least of concerns in the next project. Number 4. Delhi-Mumbai Expressway. 1,380 kilometers in 12 hours. This is India's first true 8-lane access-controlled expressway, and it's 97% complete. The Delhi-Mumbai Expressway will cut travel time between India's 2 largest cities by more than half. It'll reduce travel costs by 30% and save 320 million liters of fuel annually, cutting pollution and saving money. Neha Gupta, 31, took a job in Jaipur 2 years ago, better position, better pay. But her parents are aging and live in Delhi. She visits them once a month, spending 8,000 Indian rupees on tolls and fuel, and enduring a 10-hour drive each way. Soon, it'll cost 4,000 Indian rupees and take 4 hours. She's already planning to visit twice a month. NHAI's 2024 data shows the expressway will reduce accidents by 60% compared to the current NH8 route. Fewer deaths, fewer injuries, fewer families destroyed. But here's what's really surprising. The expressway has become a blueprint for wildlife conservation in infrastructure. It features 5 elevated sections specifically designed for animal migration, allowing leopards, nilgai, and other species to cross safely without encountering vehicles. Wildlife biologists are calling it a breakthrough, proof that development and conservation don't have to be enemies. But 40,000 acres of farmland were still acquired for this project, displacing 12,000 families. Many received compensation, but compensation doesn't replace a way of life, a connection to land your ancestors tilled for generations. That's the hidden cost nobody puts in the brochures. But displacement is nothing compared to the scale of the next project. Number 3. Smart Cities Mission. 100 smart cities with AI traffic management, 100% renewable energy, and zero waste by 2028. Sounds utopian? It's barely 30% complete. The Smart Cities mission was launched with massive fanfare in 2015, Indian rupee 2.4 lakh crore to transform 100 Indian cities into tech-enabled, sustainable urban centers. Nearly a decade later, only 1.1 Indian rupees lakh crore has been spent, with shockingly limited results. Rohit Varma is 28, a software engineer who returned from San Francisco in 2022, inspired by India's tech boom. He was promised that smart cities, like Bhopal, would rival Bangalore. He moved there for a startup job. He still faces 8-hour power cuts. The smart streetlights don't work. The promised citywide Wi-Fi never materialized. The waste segregation system exists on paper, not in reality. A CAG report from 2024 is devastating. Only 28 of 100 cities have completed even 50% of their promised projects. Billions spent on consultants, presentations, and international trips, minimal impact on the ground. But there are success stories. Surat transformed its garbage management completely, now processing 2,000 tons of waste daily, converting it into compost and energy. The city is actually making money from garbage. Indore won India's cleanest city 7 consecutive years through aggressive waste management and citizen participation. But for every Surat, there are 5 Bhopals, beautiful presentations, broken execution. Critics are calling it India's most expensive failure. If you think that's concerning, the next project could bankrupt entire states. Number 2, Eastern Waterways Connectivity Project. India has 14,500 kilometers of navigable rivers. We use 2% of it. Countries like China and the Netherlands use 80% of their waterways. The Jal Marg Vikas project aims to make the Ganga navigable for large cargo vessels from Varanasi to Haldia, 1,620 kilometers of river highways. Here's why this matters. Moving goods by water costs 1.2 Indian rupees per ton kilometer versus 2.5 Indian rupees by road. That's 50% cheaper. It's also far more fuel efficient and produces 80% less carbon emissions. The economic logic is undeniable. But Govind Das isn't convinced. He's 55, a fisherman whose family has lived on the Ganga's banks for 6 generations. He fears that dredging, deepening the river for cargo ships, will destroy fish breeding grounds and devastate his livelihood. A 2023 WWF report supports his concern. Increased shipping traffic could critically endanger the Gangetic River dolphin. Only 3,500 remain in the wild, one of the world's rarest mammals. The World Bank predicts this waterway system could reduce India's logistics costs by 35,000 Indian rupees crore annually. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Only 12 cargo vessels use this route daily. 12. Is this a transportation revolution, or a multi-billion rupee white elephant that destroys ecosystems for minimal benefit? The government insists usage will increase once infrastructure improves. Skeptics say companies won't use it because rail and road are already established, reliable, and faster. But here's the project that could truly change everything. Number 1. India's 5G rollout and Digital India 2.0. By 2028, 900 million Indians will have 5G access. That's more than the entire population of Europe connected to next-generation internet. But this isn't just about faster Netflix. This is about a fundamental transformation of how India works. 5G enables telemedicine. A doctor in Mumbai can diagnose a patient in rural Assam in real time. It enables precision agriculture, satellites and sensors telling farmers exactly when to water, exactly where to fertilize, reducing waste by 40%. It enables drone deliveries to remote areas, real-time disaster management, and smart manufacturing that could make India a global production hub. Meet Kavita Pal. She's 19, from a village in Bihar that didn't have electricity until 2020. No electricity meant no internet, no computer, no connection to the outside world. In 2022, her village got 4G through BharatNet. Kavita downloaded a free government coding app and started learning web design. Today, she earns 15,000 Indian rupees a month as a freelance designer, working for clients in Delhi, Bangalore, and even Dubai. She's never left her village, but her village is no longer isolated. A NASSCOM report from 2024 projects that India's digital economy will contribute $1 trillion, That's 20% of GDP by 2030. Not oil, not manufacturing, digital services and technology. India added 900 million internet users in just 12 years, faster than any nation in history. Faster than the US, faster than China, faster than anyone. The government is now deploying AI to revolutionize agriculture. Satellite data assesses crop insurance claims in 48 hours instead of 45 days. Farmers get payouts before they go bankrupt. AI chatbots in 22 languages help citizens access government services. No bribes, no middlemen, just instant information. This is the invisible infrastructure that doesn't make headlines. No ribbon-cutting ceremonies, no shiny trains, but it's changing millions of lives every single day. But here's the dark side nobody wants to talk about. India's data privacy laws are dangerously weak. Your health records, financial transactions, location data, all of it can be collected, stored, and potentially sold without meaningful consent or oversight. And with facial recognition systems being deployed in 1,400 Indian cities, are we building a digital future or a surveillance state like China? The government says it's for safety, catching criminals, finding missing persons, preventing terrorism. Civil rights activists warn we're sleepwalking into authoritarianism. Yet for millions like Kavita, this digital revolution is their only escape from poverty. It's the difference between a 5,000 Indian rupees a month farm laborer and a 50,000 Indian rupees a month software developer. So what's the answer? How do we embrace the benefits while protecting our freedoms? That's the question India will answer by 2028. So here's what I want to know. If you had to choose one project to get full funding and cancel the rest, which would it be? Would you pick the bullet train for comfort and prestige, or rural roads that could literally save lives? Would you choose massive ports to boost exports, or waterways that are cheaper but unproven? Would you fund smart cities with futuristic promises, or digital infrastructure that's already changing lives? And honestly, do you think India can actually pull this off, or are we about to witness the biggest infrastructure failure in history? Is this the decade India becomes a superpower, or the decade we realize we had superpower dreams but execution problems? Drop your answer in the comments, and if you pick the same project as me, I'll pin your comments so everyone can see we're on the same wavelength. Because by 2028, we'll know the truth. We'll know if India's infrastructure ambitions were visionary or just expensive fantasies. And if you want to see which country is actually beating India in infrastructure development right now, and what we can learn from them, check out the video on screen. You'll be shocked at who's number one.